Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just going to go over what we would like you to do today. So on Wednesday, we will be interviewing Mr. Javier Velasco, um, and he is actually Mr. Velasco's dad. So we wanted to just tell you a little background information about him, which hopefully will make this activity a little easier. So he was born in Havana, Cuba in 1946. He came to the US in 1960 when he was 14 with his parents, grandparents, several aunts, uncles, and a cousin on his dad's side. On his mom's side, his aunt, uncle, and a cousin decided to stay in Cuba. He didn't see them again for about 15 years when they finally got out of Cuba in the 1980s. Javier's dad worked for Sears in Cuba and continued to work for Sears in Miami before getting transferred to Chicago a few years later. So, what we would like you to do is to write one thin and one thick question. Ask Mr. Velasco, and you can see all of your names are here. Okay, and I'm going to go down to my name. So, one of the questions that I might have for him that is a thin question is: did you speak any English when you came to the US? Okay, and that is a thin question because it's pretty much a yes or no question. There's some follow up that we could do with that question to make it a thick question, but we'll have to hear how he responds to it first before we can do that. And then my thick question is going to be, how did you feel about moving to the US? And that's a thick question because he can we can really have a conversation about how he was feeling at that time. Okay, so do your best. It's okay if some of the questions overlap, but try to come up with some original questions. And then what we'll do is we will pick some questions that we want to ask him, and we're thinking where we're going to assign them to you guys to ask, but obviously only if you're comfortable. So this is where we're at. If you could please get this done today so that when we meet tomorrow, we can talk about the questions together so that we can get a really good interview from Mr. Velasco when we talk to him. All right. Do